Could we ever program reality? Utility fog, a concept theorized by nanoengineer John Storrs Hall, who suggested that a collective of nanotechnological devices called foglets could link together into a complex aerial swarm network. Hall initially came up with this idea as a way to prevent trauma in car crashes by stiffening the air inside the car. However, if this idea were to be extended to the atmosphere of our planet, then we'd be able to conjure things out of thin air, like wizards. If these foglets were to be directed by an AI, they could be morphed into any structure that the user finds convenient. A whole planet made up of these foglets gives us the concept of a heaven world, somewhat like the idea of a simulation heaven that we see in VR, except that this would be real life. Think of utility fog as a video game where the characters can leap off the screen and interact with you, disassembling and reassembling themselves into furniture, landscapes, or food anytime, anywhere. The surface of these heaven worlds would be covered in what we call programmable matter, also known as smart dust. The grains of sand under your feet are all actually robots of three-dimensional tactile material that can reshape and reform itself to suit your deepest desires. If the nanobots that make up this smart dust become cheap and plentiful enough, it would truly be bridging the gap between man and what anyone from the Dark Ages would consider a god. On a heaven world, the very dirt we walk in and the air we breathe will contain AI-directed nanites, a custom universe where you'll no longer be able to tell virtual reality from actual reality. At this point, it will no longer matter if the universe is a programmed simulation, because you'll be able to rewrite that program anyway. In fact, Google's director of engineering, Ray Kurzweil, has suggested that these nanomachines would unconditionally guarantee immortality, replacing every cell in our body until we become a collective of nanites ourselves.
Hey guys, Demon Hunter here. Okay, so as you can see, they're looking to build a live augmented virtual reality, okay, within the enclosed system that they have created via the Smart Dust Dome, ionized sky. A dome within a dome. Think of it in terms that you got God's creation, the enclosed system we live in, and then Satan's mimicking, inverting, polluting what God had created, building out his own technocracy-based live AI augmented system. So we're going to go ahead and break down some track systems, how they're simulating the constellations, and you guys enjoy.
If I slip it.
I'm gonna do it right here because it sounds right here.
Bruh.
Come on, ready? Good luck, just go!
They're not looking.
Well, they can't. They don't look at Someone's not even flying a plane. Oh, there you go.
There it shoots
You
out
farted. You good?
some. And I believe that's like utility fog.
Was that the crop duster?
Yeah, that was the crop duster.
Alright, I'm ready to go back. I'm done.
That's funny.
I caught the fart.
And
What?
they're doing it right next to the sun. You can see a massive structure right above the sun up there too.
Magic struggling.
And it could be they're looking to conceal the structure that they have up there.
Mine would
At the
just
top of the
do
dome right
all
there is
three
a
of us.
All
structure
three of us.
on the right of the
Full
plane.
bit, Matthew. You have to commit to the front flip. Full flip.
And here you'll see them spray again, utility fog.
Hold on to this for me.
I can somersault it.
Come
Wait,
come-
look.
Now you gotta
Look,
do
look,
that.
look.
Let's go.
Look. Is that black spray?
Yeah.
What the French
That's
toast?
from the.
That's the crop duster.
Yet they do it right in front of the sun and the structure.
Isn't that interesting?
It's only black because we're seeing the shadow of it. We're
Oh,
seeing-
you think so?
We're seeing the back of it. Not
And there they go again.
Because the sun's hitting right on it, so we're not gonna
That's
see.
crazy.
We're not gonna see the reflection of the light.
Oh no,
But
that's
if we look at this picture, you can start to see structures, and these are the two crop planes, and this is the structure I believe it looking to conceal in between the lines, and you can see structures up here as well. So is this utility fog used to build these structures out? Part of their live augmented virtual reality? Or are there physical structures up there that they're looking to conceal around the sun? We know there's a massive structure around the sun regardless, and that it's a huge chandelier of sorts. But I just want to let you guys know they've got the capability to build out anything and everything they want via this utility fog and these catacombs, this programmable matter. And I believe there's a structure right in there that we've, paper thin veils caught before as well, that rides out in front of this sun sim. But who's to know this isn't just a utility fog, creating a live virtual reality up there for their, coming false alien invasion, and perhaps their Nibiru hologram. But I think Nibiru is Wormwood the Destroyer, which is the Syrian, the fallen angel. So I just wanted to kind of introduce you guys to this technology that they have, and that there could be very well. But in Independence Day, you see that massive UFO covering the entire planet. Well, here you have it. They could create that via utility fog, I would say. Okay. Let's see here. We'll just go through a couple more. You can see it in there. You can see something building out up there. And again, looks like a massive platform. And this just happens to be spraying right in front of it. So is it spraying to conceal the structure that's there? Or are they spraying to help build out the structure even more? And it's just an augmented virtual reality they're creating. Hey guys, Demon Hunter here. I hope all is well. Okay, I want to go ahead and show you what I'm seeing in terms of there being a massive city again, machine encapsulating the sun. Now, we're going to start off by reviewing some of Paper Thin Veil's pics of what he caught in terms of there being rings around the sun, multiple rings. And at first one would speculate that it's the guts of a lens, a camera lens. But after further research into these images, I'm inclined to think that it's not the guts of a lens, but in fact the Dyson sphere or the city, Skydome Atlantis, that's encapsulating the sun. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do here real quick is, for a recap, this taken with a parabolic dish, ATIS parabolic dish technique, which is acting as a lens that's bringing the images back together that they're trying to conceal up there. They use parabolic dishes as well to conceal their machinery up there. And we're using a parabolic dish, a 5-time paperweight dome, mirror dome, which is bringing that image back together again. And this is the sun, and this is the machine that's encapsulating the sun with track systems that go north, south, east, and west. Okay? And again, there's a huge tower next to it. There's a sled, and it goes up and down what I believe to be a massive track system up there. Okay? And you could see the huge machinery around the sun there, circled. as well there. This is what looks like the Elysium style base that circles. This is what these rings are that I believe paper thin veil caught. And again, there's the sun. There's a Elysium style base, what I believe going around the sun, but also rings that go directly around the sun itself, which again is what looks to be the spiral staircase right there. Okay, so and again, I've shown this before. That's Donnie, where we captured the machine tower surrounding the sun there. Okay, all up in there. And even if we go a little bit further, you can see the massive machinery there. Now these halos, we're going to be diving into these halos too, which are the rings. I believe these rings go around, and which are part of these halos that we're seeing. And then again, this here photo was from Ojibwa 27 channel, who catches amazing footage, and he caught this image, what looks like the Dyson sphere that's around the sun. And I did some re-edits to break it down, and that's what I'm seeing. As you can see, like structures. Okay, all right. So now if we go back, so just to, in here again, you can see the track systems up there, which has a simulator attached to it, which is multiple simulators being up there. And this is the parabolic dish that we're using. It's just a 5 times paperweight dome, 5-time magnification. And it's allowing us to see what they're trying to conceal up there. Okay, now, and you can see here just some of these NASA patches. Our eye on the sun, their interface region imaging spectrograph, which I believe is they're actually bending the light and using frequency to manipulate the light so we can't see the structures up there. Parker Solar, mission to touch the sun. Well, as far as I'm concerned, they're already touching the sun, guys. So if we go back up here to paper thin veil, see this here structure on the right, that's the halo, guys, that we're seeing. Okay, when we look up and we see a halo, we're seeing these north, south, east, west of a halo. You see what looks to be a light spectrum like this. See the halo? That it's machinery, guys. Okay, and it goes all the way around. There's your halo. Here's your halo on the western quadrant, your southern quadrant, and the red, the halo down there. And then there's multiple rings. So is this your Lord of the Rings? The Dark Sun? And I'll try and show it to you here. See, this again would be the part of the halo that we're seeing, but it's actually a machine. I believe to be a machine, and I believe they're using, like I said, graphene, which is very transparent, very lightweight, extremely strong, and they've created like a Elysium style Dyson sphere around the sun, and you can see the multiple rings it has. Okay, now, and this is what see, if you look, you can see the 2 dots in there. It's like 2 lenses perhaps. And if we go to this image here, we'll go to this one first. Okay, again, that's your halo that everybody sees, but it's machines all around it. And it even looks like the collider, CERN collider. I mean, when it's got all these different little diodes Very weird. But if you even look close, you can start to see machinery on there. Okay. If we just follow it around, that looks like a structure right there. We just follow this around. That's your north part of the halo that everybody sees, and that's another one. That's going to be your western side, and then when you get closer in, that's what we're gonna. That's, I would consider to be the spiral staircase we saw on the other pic. So all these objects that are flying into the sun, UFOs and everything, I believe they're flying into the structure that's all around it. Okay. Now, and if we go, so I'm going to show you this here. Okay, it would probably be this one up here. Okay. Now, if we look at this pic, sun going up, that's it there. Okay. That's probably going to be the other one that I was able to pull together. And that's it. See? Does that not look like this? See, like the pipes coming out of there, or the lenses? And I believe they're, they're bending this light. They're using frequencies to alter the light spectrum, so we can't see this stuff. It's just crazy how they're doing it, but they're doing it. But, you know. And they're making the sun just such a blinding hot light that, you can't really see around it because it's so bright. And we'll just go through a little bit more, and then you could see what looks to be hidden structures that even go out north, south, and east and west. This is like one going right here. It's kind of hidden. Let me see if I could find another one. You can see something going on all right in there. It's kind of hidden, but there's definitely looks to be a structure in there. You can see a little bit better there. Okay. And this is the one. You can see it in there. There's something going on there. It looks like there's a track or something right in between those, going from the different tracks, the circular spherical tracks. This is looking more of a horizontal track. Going over to here, but it's kind of hidden. And here's another one. It looks to be going all the way over here. You see it? How it looks like it's machinery. It's like a track. And it goes somewhere in there as well. And then this looks like one of those turbines or pulleys that I've been showing. There even looks to be another one right in there. You can see the circular object in there. And then there's another one right in there. You can faintly see it. So, yep. So kudos to Paper Thin Veil. Continuing to catch some crazy stuff. I think he did a video on this about 4 months ago, or maybe 6 months ago. I'm not sure. I'll include it in the description, and you guys definitely need to go sub to Tracy, Paper Thin Veil. Here you can see it right here, paperthinveil.com, and his YouTube channel is Paper Thin Veil. I'll leave a link in the description. So if we go down, and again, you can see like structures in there. It bleeds all the way out, and that's just so weird. But that's one of the halos markers that we see. And then here you see how it's just like all types of structures all around it, even all up in here. And again, it looks like there's a track going horizontally underneath this red line out from all these rings. So it makes you wonder if they've got a CERN collider up there, you know, and this actually, the dark side maybe actually being, I don't know, some form of Stargate to another dimension, or they're using the energy from the sun to create the energy they need to open gateways and portals, and who knows. But they got something going on, a massive Dyson sphere or something around the sun here, and a city up there that's not an ISS. So now I'm going to show, let's see, we'll go down here now. So you've seen that. And again, this is just other footage of when you kind of break the images down, you start seeing what looks to be structures around the sun. And then this is a very weird object here. Some type of platform or something just absolutely crazy. But I mean, you can see what looks to be structures kind of bleeding out there. And even up there. But this here is just, I don't know what that is. And there's another line behind it. But it looks like a structure to me. But I'm not sure what it is. Kind of crazy. And that looks like a tower. Now, there was one, which one was it? Was it up here? Oh, right here. Is that it? No. Can't remember. I was looking at. Oh, that was in another pic. Okay, so we'll go down, and again, this is taken from the rocket Change 3 rocket launch, going to resupply, I believe, ISS space station, which is within the dome, and this is the rear view camera of the rocket launch. And this is after it goes through the holographic sky canopy that the ISS feed is casting, trying to conceal Sky Dome Atlantis and the sun simulator, all the tracks. This is the fisheye lens. So it broke the artificial sky canopy that the ISS feed up top is casting down. And you can see what looks to be a structure, Sky Dome Atlantis, I would say, up there. And then this is the sun simulator and a track system underneath the holographic canopy that the rear view camera of the Change rocket launch captured, which I believe is real. And again, Elysium is this, you know, what we're kind of looking at up there. And then here you got, again, massive tracks, a massive tower up there like the Tower of Babel, and massive structure being all around this sun. And you can see the track systems here. And I believe when you're looking up, and this is like one of the turbines, I believe, that propels it up and down this track system, and there's like a chain up there too But I believe this honeycomb structure underneath it, with all these wheels, cogs, and pistons, I think when you're looking up, you're seeing all these rings of this like honeycomb shape. And I think that's potentially what Penn's woodsman caught. So when you're looking up, you're seeing this part. Something's going on around the sun, you know? Something. And there's definitely crazy Elysium style structures up there. Okay? And you know, that there is our sun, and this here is an image that was hidden. You looked at this image on a live stream and you wouldn't see this. I was able to pull that on out doing some re-edits. And this is the halo, the rings that go around it, I believe. So there's a lot that's being hidden around that sun. And this was down, I think down south, way down south. So again, you got like the chain up there. The sun's connected to what looks to be a track system. It's got some crazy jaws of death in there. A retractable arm with, it's got this huge like lens array. And then it's got a platform that seems to follow it. So when you're looking up, you can't see it. I don't know, it's creating like a Project Bluebeam or artificial sky canopy, live augmented virtual, you know, reality artificial sky canopy that we're seeing. It seems, you know, they're like creating all this fakery, but I think that might be the platform that Paper Thin Veil picked up. You can see all kinds of structures, what looks to be underneath that sun sim. But now, and again, this is the platform that I believe's riding in front of the sun sim. But then again, guys, this could definitely be the live, you know, augmented virtual reality that they're creating up there out of all this smart dust. Or it could be the platform that we've seen. See, this is pictures that were caught. This is the platform here. These are cables. They're not chemtrails, and they're going into this massive pulley system, which is a caliper. Right there, it's going into the caliper, and it's wrapping around these pulley systems. They're like self-replicating, self-assembling, and it pulls this track system across the sky. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about, where they have this machinery. They can just create a thin air. It's like Claytronics, programmable matter, but it's actually a physical structure. But and then they could disassemble it just like that. But you can see it here. This looks like Anubis even there. And this is in the sides of the north. You know, again, in London, Ontario. But here you could see the tower that's on this platform right next to the sun sim. Okay? You can see the tower there sitting on it. This platform being pulled across the sky. But they're changing these light spectrums where, I mean, we're bending light where we can't really see this stuff unless you really truly break it all down. But I mean, it's hard to tell what's real, what's fake, you know, what's artificial or virtual, you know, I guess utility fog, programmable matter. But, you know, so if we go a little bit further here, and again, this is just images of structures being all up there that I've shown before, but, you know, and it all seems to manifest out of these clouds. And again, some scripture here just to back up that there is suggesting that there is something atop the dome, as well as Hopi Prophecy. For instance, Hopi Prophecy, 9th and final sign, you will hear of a dwelling place in the heavens above the earth that shall fall with a great crash. It will appear as a blue star. And then you got the Bible, Obadiah 1:4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, says the Lord. You got Genesis 4:11, Come, they said, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the earth, the whole earth. And then Isaiah 14, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne room above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mountain of the congregation, the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, yet shall be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Again, Psalm 139:8, if I ascend to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. And we'll just do Amos here. Though they dig down to Sheol, from there my hand will take them. And though they climb up to heaven, from there I will pull them down. Now this is Mr. BB33's channel. Michelle sent this into him, where it was looking like there was a Stargate up there, but of course it was right next to the sun. It's right next to the sun. You can see the pulley. That's a pulley system right there, right in the center. You can kind of see it. But this is that same lens array, retractable arm, I would say, that's simulating the exact same thing Donnie was capturing. Okay, you can see it here, the retractable pulley system, and there's like a track right in there as well. And then you could see up here all structures. So this thing, it wasn't free floating, it was connected to the Sun Sim platform, Skydome Atlantis, whatever you want to call it. You can see it right there, big structure that it's connected to. You can see some stuff over here too. So the key takeaway is, that it's not a second sun we're looking at. I believe it's, this huge massive lens array system simulating, faking, likely all types of planets, and it's the Hollywood production up there. Okay, this is like the turbine that's on it, that it seems to push it around, I would say, because it's like on a spiral staircase at the bottom. It's really weird. I'll have to show you other pics, but you can see all the mechanics underneath the platform there, right in the center there. It's like huge pulley systems, wheels upon wheels. And that, I believe, is a turbine to propel the Sun Sim up and around and across these track systems. Okay. Can't make this stuff up. So, and that's what I'm seeing. So this here object on this retractable arm is what Donnie's seeing, which looks to be simulating a planet, whereas everything's just a simulation. And here you can see just multiple light sources all around this platform that people see, and they think are either stars or other objects in the sky, but they're light sources from this. And that's the platform right there that follows it up across the sky. This is like a transformer. It transformed. Transformers, I'd say, are real. They're transformed. It's just crazy how advanced things are. But here you could see platform that follows this Sun Sim all across the sky. Structures all up above it. Here you could see what looks like structures all atop the track system that holds this Sun Sim. You can see it bleeding all the way down. Sorry. Okay, so and that looks like one of the platforms or ships You can see what looks like it has a turbine. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but then this is like looks like the light source, the ring of fire that's underneath it, that's creating the light. But let me just show you, they've done TED Talks, okay, on the technology of okay, that's a hologram. All right, TED Talks. NASA's done TED Talks with JPL Propulsion, I think it is, on their holographic capabilities and technology. Now this is the ISS, guys. Check this out. This is what I'm talking about. ISS is casting a holographic feed, trying to conceal what's underneath it. So when you look at that and you think, for instance, the ISS bumps and you think it's in space and it's being blown about by the wind. In fact, it's running up and down these tracks, hitting a fish plate in the track system. But let's go ahead and watch this. Okay. Now at the bottom right quadrant in there, you see like stuff underneath this the hologram, and those are actually track systems. Okay. And if we go further down, you're going to see one of the simulators, one of many. If you look in the middle there, that's a simulator. That's not the main simulator, but that's one of the simulators. They have multiple up there simulating, and I'm assuming this would be one that's going to be simulating, Planet Nibiru or whatever. But the ISS is running up and down the track system at the ISS stations at the top, whereas it's concealing a city that's below. And the Sun Sim is clearly, or the simulator, it's not the Sun Sim, main Sun Sim, it's one of the simulators that we've captured, I would say, that is actually underneath. And if you look at the big lens array circle on the right there, see, you got the Canada arm, it looks like, and don't pay attention to that. The left doesn't know what the right's doing. They're all in on it. But you got with the sun simulator there, and then you've got what looks like a big, huge lens array that's portraying, one of your planets or one of, something that they're looking to fake you out with. But all this, again, is taking place underneath a holographic canopy. You see the clouds, ledge clouds, going up right on over it. So that's what we're seeing take place. And this ball thing being just one of the huge lens array systems that people think are a moon or something. But sorry, not buying it. And the predictive program in Geostorm, they're telling it to you, a huge tracking system up top. And these are the fish plates. I'm assuming the ISS feed, when it goes over, it hits one of these tracks, and that's what makes it bump when you're looking at the ISS feed, because it's running right across these tracks. The top. The UN logo, they're telling you the whole story, flat plane, with a track system above your heads. This is ISS feeds with glitches showing and revealing, I believe, the Sky Dome Atlantis underneath the holographic canopy top. You can see where there's glitches in the hologram, and it's revealing tracks with a fisheye lens they're using. So just to try to get you guys, what we're seeing here, and then this is hole punch clouds. This is so if you're looking up in the sky and you're looking at the Sun Sim, they're creating artificial skies with their Project Bluebeam type projectors, and a hole punch cloud opened up and they're revealing the platform right next to the Sun Sim, which looks like a projector. You got your Sun Sim there, and hole punch clouds opened up, and you've got right there structures, and all in here you got structures. There's even something right there I see. Right there in the center. Yep. Okay. So we'll just keep moving along real quick. Now this is a video where you're going to see technology being used, or ships or spacecrafts from like that resemble the ones that McDill has, that are square shaped, They're caught on an ISS feed going above the hologram and in between that of the ISS platform that's higher above. So let's see if we can watch this. Okay.
Surface and check this out.
This is a fisheye lens, guys, I would say, without a doubt.
What the heck are these things? I have no idea. I don't know how NASA's going to explain something like this.
Okay.
Really strange. Look at...
All right. So now we know that. Okay. So in short, you got this is what McDill during Hurricane Irma. These were spotted over McDill. Okay. And this effects that were shown during Hurricane Irma at McDill Air Force Base in the sky. This is from exopolitics.org channel, Dr. Michael Sala. He's a historian, I think, or political historian, but international politics he deals with. Okay, so those were shown at, they took flight when Hurricane Irma came over, and he was suggesting they were showing a sign of force because it was a, the hurricane was man-made, and I guess it was an attack on the Air Force Base, but who knows. You know, and it's funny that these objects at McDill, okay, Air Force Base, which is right down the street from me, so, who knows, but see that? Doesn't that kind of resemble what we had seen in the video that I had just shown you from the get-go?
Wow, video for everybody.
This one?
I want you to check this one out. This is a video taken from a satellite.
And again, that's a fisheye lens.
The Earth's surface, and check this out.
And that's a hologram canopy top. You can see structures all in there. That's what I'm going to be showing here. The structures all right there, underneath the holographic canopy top. Which. Okay, so these are some of the structures here. Those are flying by. This is. I'll leave this clip in the video, but there's structures right there, clearly underneath the hologram, that might not come up so much right now, but and that I was able to pull out. I guess like we can watch a little bit of it. Right there, and there's one there, and there's even one over here. And this is underneath the holographic canopy top. But I was able to catch these when I was watching that video, and I noticed the right angles. And right there, that's a good one. You can clearly see that there's some type of structure there, and these things are flying underneath the dome because it's underneath the ISS live feed, which is at the very top of the dome. They're the ones that's casting the live feed, the holographic canopy top that I've been showing you. NASA did a TED Talk on it. Okay, so you get the gist. You got the ISS feed casting a holographic canopy that was supposed to be concealing this, I would say, all these structures here. And these ships flying by were in between the holographic canopy that was being probably projected upwards from this platform, maybe. And they were, you know, flying between the ISS space station at the very top of the dome, and this is Skydome Atlantis that they're flying over, with these structures being part of Skydome Atlantis, is what I'm kind of seeing here. Okay? But you can see that there's a structure encapsulating our entire sun. And this is taken with a parabolic dish, 5-time paperweight dome, glass dome. It's acting as a reflection, it's acting as a parabolic dishes. They use parabolic dishes up there to conceal the stuff. We're using this device, which is Ada came up with, piloted by the Holy Spirit. She taught us this and technique, and this is revealing the city up there, pulling the image back together that they're trying to conceal. And this is a huge, massive tower riding on this huge sled system, pulling this massive system. These are all mechanics across the sky. Okay, you could see this huge, massive spiral staircase city encapsulating our sun, and these are all track systems that go all the way out and about, and these are all mechanics and structures. You can see this is probably part of that huge massive platform, Donnie, that's all around, always been seen around the sun, and this is massive tracks system. All this is just light pollution at the bottom. This is my house, but this is up there is what we're seeing up there. More structures. Okay. Sky Dome Atlantis. And this is it. The whole thing's encapsulating the sun, and there's tracks. All these red lines are tracks and living quarters, and it's like Elysium up there. And you can see like cranks and tracks there. And these are tracks that go out to this outer ring, I'm assuming is what I'm seeing. They have a patch, NASA patch. Nothing is beyond our reach. It's because, you know, they've got an entire programmable matter, self-replicating, self-assembling track system up there. Pan, the Horn God, Palladium, Stadium, At Night, Atlas, Atlantis, your Tesla Tower, powering device, powering Sky Dome Atlantis, with the Horn God, Pan, having capped the dome. This guy, your false sun sim, your dome, okay? He's got the powering device, the New Year's Eve tower, the ball. You know this is what that probably is. And you got the serpent cutting off God's natural earth frequency, replacing it with his own technocracy-based kingdom, all within the dome. Satan's capped the dome, the false light bearer. Freemasonic artwork showing the whole thing. Your powering device going to the toroidal field. You got the flat earth map, plane, UN. All within a dome. Interstellar. The movie, Inner. Lower orbit, within the dome. Stellar. Track system. New Year's Eve ball. This is a 9/11 mutant Putin memorial to the U.S. based in New York. And 9/11 was a sacrifice to Apollyon, the destroyer, the two becoming the one, the enmity taking over. And if you flip this upside down, you've got the powering device, you got Sky Dome Atlantis all on the firmament. Yep. The same thing as the Vatican. You got all the track system right there. You got even the Dome Basilica, I think it is, with Osiris's penis, and you got your diodes, light sources on the track system. But you turn it upside down, and lo and behold, you got the powering device. This is the UN. They're telling it's the same exact story, guys. They got Sky Dome Atlantis, the powering device. Yep, an inverted cross. They're telling in the medical, you got the Tree of Life, the North Pole, coming out of the toroidal field on the flat plane map with the track system, and you got the serpent wrapping around the toroidal field, God's natural earth frequency, replacing it with its own. You got the Freemasons telling you the whole story would live within a dome. Lucifer, the false light bearers, cap the dome. You got all these little ships running around inside the dome. And then you've got obviously all these other cultures believing we live in an enclosed system. The only one that's pushing the ball Earth is NASA, a bunch of Freemasons. Okay, Operation Paperclip, research it. You got even the Freemasons believe, the enemy believe we live in an enclosed system. Who created NASA. So, that's the PSYOP, guys. The Greatest Showman, the movie, predicted program, and they put it all on his face. You got the serpent having capped the dome. You got the sun, the dark sun simulator. You got the tower, powering device. You got the two dimensions on his cheeks colliding, the two becoming the one. The Greatest Showman. Another movie, Transfer, talking about, you know, your conscience being uploaded to the one-eyed mind, AI, Satan consciousness, up at Sky Dome Atlantis. Once you take the mark of the beast. And those who think that Jesus, again, is not who he says he is, and it's just a fable, why do they continue to mock him and put him in movies? This is from the Fifth Wave movie, okay? It's a cryptic scene, and you've got the all-seeing eye, this gent with it looking through the crosshairs of a rifle, the all-seeing eye, Lucifer the false light bearer on the pyramid coming out of the abyss. He's staring down the crosshairs at the bride of Christ, because you got the cross there, so it's the persecution. Meanwhile, there was a cryptic reptilian dinosaur cracking the dome, capping the dome. This being the dome, we live in an enclosed system. They're telling you the reptilians capped it. Satan, Lucifer, the false light bearer. Meanwhile, they just happened to put Jesus up in the tree. You know, you see the knee bent. So if Jesus was just a fable, why would they continue to do this? Well, because he's our only saving grace. The fifth wave, the Sith. You know, the age of Aquarius. And then this is another part of the movie, so people that think that that's not really showing that, well, you've got they're all wearing blue, reptilian blue bloods. Meanwhile, you got the beast coming out of the sea. You got the reptilian that we saw in the last scene. You got the crocodile, so you got the reptilian blue bloods. You got the boots coming. You got talking about gateways and portals with the spirals and the transcending space and time, the wheel reference. Meanwhile, you've got the X's, which is the seal of Saturn, Satan, all across the door, and you got a table here, as above, so below, and they're all wearing blue, reptilian blue bloods. So, yeah. And right here, you got Capitol Hill. They're telling you the whole story. You got all these pentagrams all around in a circle. Meanwhile, you got all these people just sitting up there, hanging out. Sky Dome Atlantis, Satan's capped the dome. And you got all these little demons hidden in here that are all being shown up and seen up there because they're open gateways and portals. You got the fire phoenix in there. Telling you the whole story. And this is, again, just more pics revealing that this whole thing is just nothing more than simulation. They're simulating, faking everything. Even the storms they're faking and creating, the storm track. They came out with a track system for that. You've got the track system on the UN map. Meanwhile, this aerial, which is all nothing but programmable matter, they're creating all these storms with the machines. This is nothing more than a machine that surfaced over my house. Okay, all these tornadoes, that's a machine in there. Okay? All done with programmable matter. This is the carousel from that machine. Hey guys, Demon Hunter here. Hope all's well. I just wanted to kind of show you guys a couple water spouts here that made me think that there's a aerial that was actually being recorded and responsible for these water spouts. And I'll first start off by made me think of the Boston album, Cooling the Engines. And I'll show you in this video too, where there are pictures of what looks to be ship that looks, or an aerial that looks like, you know, exactly what we're seeing here in terms of water being sucked up, and it looks like a water spout, but there's clearly an aerial that seems to be drawing this water out So it makes you wonder if, in fact, they are, cooling their engines, or just collecting water and then dumping it like on Hurricane Harvey on the city. But anyway, these are kind of what I saw here. This is the video. We'll start with that.
Tanto giusto verso Ioia.
Okay, and if we just go ahead and start kind of breaking a few of these down, you can see what looks to be structures, in particular, like right in there, and structure at the top. It looks like a square. Opening also right in there, and I believe these are like mechanical tubes that come down, and you can even see in the water, just looks like right angles in there, and even over here it looks like something's going on, but you can see again there, and even in the actual tube itself, it looks like there's mechanical arms that are coming down, which we've seen and documented before in aerials. Which are responsible for this weather chaos, with their blaming it on Nibiru and global warming, but in fact it's all these aerials responsible, I would say, in terms of the weather chaos. You can see like the structures in that tube, just like what I'll show you here, what we saw prior in Mr. BB33's pic of Indonesia water spout or tornado. But again, clearly looks like structures in there and down there. And in there. So was the song by Boston cooling the engines what we're seeing here potentially? They're just cooling their engines, literally, these aerials. Who knows? Or are they sucking up all this water and then dumping it on us in cities, creating weather havoc? See here? Clearly structures and mechanical parts. Look at that. Cloaked. And then up in there. Thing's massive. There, it looks like something's wrapping around the tube, or it's sucking, I don't know. So that's just weird there. in there. Definitely looks like an aerial, if I ever saw one. Yep. Big old evil face. Looks like a turtle. Right in there. Mechanical. Got blowers from hell, these things, weed whackers from hell, you know, directed energy weapons, capable of taking out entire cities and blocks, blamed on weather chaos. But that's your weather chaos, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. But I'll leave these pics for you guys to visit at the end of the video. And then let's see here. Looks mechanical to me. Huge machine sucking up this water. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. And this is, again, your Boston album. Kind of weird because it's like the dome and Sky Dome Atlantis within it. It even looks like it's actually a guitar. And that's the neck of the guitar. It looks like a scorpion's tail. And here it looks like there's a 33 right in there, their calling number. And if you turn this around, and this is like I said, this was album's Higher Power, talking about the transhumanism new age agenda. A man I'll never be, I guess, transgender corporate America album. And let's see here. Now, this is the sun. It looks like it's a portal or some demons in it. I tried to blow it up, but this is what this is. But if you turn this over, see all these ships are flying from the sun, as if there's a portal in the sun, and or if there's a city around the sun, which we have shown to be the case in these images taken with a parabolic dish. Just a ATIS technique. Parabolic dish, it's a 5 magnification paperweight, reflected paperweight, mirrored paperweight, and it's acting as a parabolic dish of its own, bringing the image, which they're trying to conceal up there with their own parabolic dishes, back together again, revealing the city that's atop the sky dome. So is this what those potential ships on the album cover they're showing us flying into? This huge city that's wrapped around our sun, God's sun, or their sun simulator? Are they saying it's a portal? You know? So, this is all Sky Dome Atlantis. There's a track system all up there. It's city atop the Sky Dome, underneath the dome at the very, very top. And yeah, but you guys have seen that. It's like Elysium up there. Huge, massive contraption with yeah, but it's pretty wild. And this is the platform, the sun simulator platform. Big, huge pulleys, pulls it across the sky. So is that what those aerials are allegedly flying into? Some form of portal? Who knows? But that's the UN, and they're telling you there's a city atop the Sky Dome, and this is like their powering device. I'm assuming like their Tesla tower or space elevator to the North Pole. Who knows? But there it is there. You can see it here on the Baphomet. You've got the dome. You've got the Tesla tower. And the serpents looking to cut off God's natural earth frequency, which comes out of the North Pole. Such as such. This is what I'm kind of seeing. You got the entire city up there. And they're vacuum sealing God's natural earth frequency that comes out of the toroidal, the tree of life. Replacing it with Satan's technocracy-based energy field. No. But anyway, and then you've got here, like from the black vault, these are supposedly old pics. And blowing up a submarine out of the water, but it looks like an aerial's attacking it or something. There's like something device in there, and this looks like a massive aerial. Given these pictures are legit, there's like mechanical structures in there. Your big demonic face. There's like a turbine or something there. Blowing up some sub. Maybe you can see it a little bit better there. Turbine. Looks like structures in there. Looks like something's in there. But I'm not even sure, if these pictures are legit. But it certainly feeds the storyline. And this here, this is the spiral staircase at the Vatican. And if you look down there, kind of this looks like some type of I'm not even sure what it is, but it looks like it's a simulator or, you know, a lens array or something. But anyway, but that there reminded me of that spiral staircase, what looks to be a spiral staircase with the sun sim. But, you know, obviously could be stretching, but that just reminded me of a spiral staircase. But anyway, and then, so we've got that, and again, Capitol Hill, they're telling you there's an entire city atop the Sky Dome. Sky Dome, Atlantis. And these are like the Malibu wildfires. You got these aerials and you got these demons bleeding through these like trees. Just bleeding through. I mean, I believe the black goo's all on these trees, and it's maybe bleeding through these, the black goo acting as gateways that they collected from CERN, and they dispersed it on us through the stratospheric aerosol injection program, is what I'm assuming. The black goo they're finding in all the rain droplets, and you know, and you had the black chemtrails. I've gone through that on numerous occasions, but you got these aerials here that are bleeding through these trees, this tree line. There's like cubes in these trees, you know. So this is your weather chaos. You got what looks like Anubis just bleeding through. You got, in the Malibu wildfires, you got this like huge massive transformer exoskeleton atomic being aerial, whatever you want to call it. In the Malibu wildfires, that's his head right there at the top. And there's another one. Just crazy. So welcome to the Twilight series. And that's how I kind of see it. You got the ISS space station at the very top of the dome casting a holographic canopy feed concealing Sky Dome Atlantis. You got the space fence underneath that. You got another hologram sky, Project Bluebeam sky. So when you look up, you can't see the city. And then you've got, you know, the vacuum sealing God's natural Earth frequency powering the city atop the Sky Dome. Yeah, so
Hey guys, Fire One, this is the Chief here. You heard me talk about fireballs, and you heard me talk about the Chelyabinsk meteorite that they knocked down. But you didn't hear me talk about, and you may not have heard me talk about, this actual fireballs coming from these ships. And you can literally see it ignite, explode, and then take off. And you can see this thing get shot across the sky. And there is, if you take a look real closely on some of these videos, you can see a tiny white dot that is flying around erratically next to the fireball, which will take the fireball out with another weapon system, a laser. That's how these fireballs are getting taken out. Obviously, they told us that the fireballs are blowing up, but they're not. They're getting taken out, because if they would blow up, they would cause a massive earthquake and a massive explosion, and a shock wave across the area would knock out all kinds of shit, like a atomic bomb. But just take a look at it. You'll see the little white saucer flying to the right-hand side of the actual missile itself. And again, you can see it coming from the ship. It happened in Chelyabinsk in the middle of the day, and I even took the pictures, took all the contrast out, and you could see the actual meteorite. And you can see the plume of smoke coming out of the top of that ship where it was shot from. And this is not a fucking joke. I mean, you don't have meteorites. We don't have space, for one thing. And how do I create an illusion of space? Well, I create fireballs, right? Yeah, this is all big scam, all right? We have no space. We have a firmament. They're playing God and they're faking everything, guys. Just take a look at this video and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And you can share this with your friends. Y'all have a good day and God bless.
As at this point, he can't rule anything out. That fire burning on a hill above Lost River Gorge in Woodstock, New Hampshire.
And at about the time it started, a man told fire officials he saw something strange. WBC's Lisa Greshey is here with the story. Lisa?
David and Lisa, it's certainly remarkable. If proven true, a man tells Woodstock firefighters that he saw what looked like a meteor streak through the sky and hit the side of the Dilly Cliff in the White Mountains. The Woodstock Fire Department got the call at about 6:20 Tuesday morning, and it's still working to get the mountainside fire contained.
Since then, it's doubled in size. Right now, it's at a little over 25 acres.
Woodstock Fire Chief John McKay says he hasn't seen a fire of this size in more than 15 years. But it was what was said to firefighters by a man passing by that makes it even more unique.
Last night when we got down off the fire line, a passerby going by said that the night before he had been driving by, headed home, and he swears that something come out of the sky and hit the side of the mountain where the fire is.
Without any other apparent cause, firefighters aren't dismissing the claim.
Can't confirm it or deny it. Just took his word that we don't know if that is the cause.
While the fire is close to Lost River Gorge, Chief McKay says right now that area is safe as they've requested help from 2 helicopters and the National Guard.
Very difficult. It's just the terrain is unbelievable and the elevation is just hard on the guys.
As for the meteor, well, we may never know.
I don't know if I would know the difference or not. I don't know what a meteor looks like. I never seen one. Maybe if we saw a point of impact, something different, we could. But right now we cannot say that it was a meteor.
You can see the structures up here. I was able to pull out. Okay. And this, you could see kind of like one of the tracks. It's self-replicating, self-assembling. It's all cloaked. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So, you can see right there. Mechanics, structures. Caught this guy before up there. It's got different levels up there. All within the dome. They're simulating everything, guys. Yep. And let's see. This is what Ada caught in one of her pics, showing the crazy demonic structures up there. And here you can see the structure up there, Donnie. Right here. The square structure that we've seen. This is from the Giant Change rocket launch, which is the rear view camera going to resupply Sky Dome Atlantis, or sorry, the ISS space station, I would say, that was at the top of the dome. And its rear view camera caught this using a fisheye lens. And meanwhile, you got the sun simulator underneath the holographic canopy. Okay. And you got clearly a structure up there. It looks like Sky Dome Atlantis. That wasn't supposed to be shown. This is more parabolic dish, just the platform, the pulley systems that, connected to the platform. And then This is one of the simulators, the one that we showed in the holographic ISS feed. I believe that's what that simulator was, just one of these other ones. This isn't the main sun simulator, I would say, because that would be over here. But this is one of many simulators, probably the one that we saw portraying the second sun that was in Donnie's video at the beginning. This right here, riding along a track system. All right, guys, well, we'll just leave it at that. I mean, it's so that's what I'm seeing, and I guess that's most importantly what I wanted to share with you. Okay, guys, now we're going to go ahead and revisit the rings that I believe are around the sun. This photo, again, taken by Ojibwa 27, which when I did a re-edit, I noticed that there was rings, an Elysium-style base around the sun, okay? And you can see what looks to be a structure there, also cube shape there, everything we've been talking about. This here is going to be Asgardia, Space Nation. This is their logo, okay, with the flower of life. And then this is the sun with the rings around it, okay? And those that aren't aware of Asgardia, it's a space kingdom that they've come up with, and this is of 2018, that's got its own flag, its own anthem, and it's based on a satellite currently in low Earth orbit. And it's a fully fledged and independent nation and a future member of the United Nations with all the attributes the status entails: a government and embassies, a flag, a national anthem, and an insignia. But if we look at it and we see the flower of life that they're using as part of its logo, and then here they've got the Eye of Ra, the flower of life, and then they've got what looks to be, this just made me think of a CPU, central processing unit. Think of the one hive mind, AI Satan consciousness, okay? And there's, you got your Ra symbolism. Ra, think of Satan, okay, Ra, radium, and here's the Eye of Horus, okay, or the Eye of Ra, and they've just happened to have that as part of the Asgardia Space Nation logo, which I thought was very weird. And then when you went ahead and I just numbered the spacing of the tree of the flower of life from the Kabbalistic occult meaning behind it, I don't know, I counted 3 6s just by chance. So I thought that was weird. If you just, I did 6 in red, and then 6 in blue, and 6 came up in green. So that came up with my 666. There's, yeah, so I found that extremely odd. And now, and then you've got the Lord of the Rings. You got the Rings of the Olympics, okay, which we knew they always did their occult showings at the grand opening, okay, because you got you see the cult meaning behind it. They had all the pyramids, the Eye of Lucifer, and I've shown this over and over. But then this here, now if we go to, let's see here, now this here we said was one of the orbs, or sorry, diodes of the sundog that we were catching in these sundogs. It's actually a machine, a huge ring, and this is what we had caught originally in pens, or I'm sorry, in paper thin veils. These being the outer rings of the sun, and these being the sundogs that everybody's seeing, that think they're sundogs, but they're all connected to the ring. Okay? Think of the dog star, Satan. Let's see here. That being one of the outer ring diodes of the sundog that we just happened to catch. Or I just was able to catch it. You could see the ring behind it. You could see the track holding this diode that is clearly, it looks like a lens of sort, some lighting. But, and then this is the, you know, the CPU, the central processing unit. And that there just made me think of that there. When you got your Eye of Ra, and then you got the 666, and then you've got the Flower of Life all within a CPU. Asgardia Space Nation. You can't make this stuff up. And then this was one, this is their renderings of the Space Kingdom, art renderings, and this is one that I think they're using. And it just happens to be the toroidal colony with its Elysium style ring structure and machine encapsulating the sun with a Tesla type tower or space elevator going down, I would say, to the toroidal field, vacuum sealing God's natural earth frequency. And let's see, this, the center of the earth. And they've got the 5G towers, and I mean, it's the same thing as that. The Tesla tower. This is at the UN. This is Sky Dome Atlantis, the city encapsulating the sun. It's an inverted cross as well. And the same thing as that. You got the Eye of Lucifer capping the dome. You got the UFOs inside the dome. The anti-gravity UFOs, German UFOs, created via forbidden fallen angel technology. So you got the Elysium style rings that continue to be caught all around the sun. And this is what I originally thought was the space elevator going up to ISS. But when I saw this ring and these rings here, I thought it really did look an awful lot like, again, what we saw in Paper Thin Veil's capturing of the rings around the sun and the structures all around the sun. And then the whole thing with all these opera houses and these domes and the chandelier. The chandelier reminds me of the sun sin that we're looking at. It was always pressed on my heart by the Lord that it's a huge chandelier up there. And if you look here at this artist, who is it? Mark Chagall. He was initiated into Freemason in 1912, and the quintessential Jewish artist of the 20th century. And this gent, for decades, he has also been respected as the world's preeminent Jewish artist, using the medium of stained glass. He produced windows in the cathedrals, windows for the UN. He also did large-scale paintings, including part of the ceiling of the Paris Opera House, to which is this. Does that not look like what we're probably dealing with up there? A massive city up there with a huge chandelier, the black sun, Lucifer the false light bearer. And then we'll go ahead and just end it with this. A sub had sent me this, and it was some cams, a number of different cams, and he was talking about this one in particular with the red orb there that he kept seeing. And obviously, you know, everybody in the Nibiru community likes to point these out as well. But every time I break them down, I'm noticing that there's machines connected to it. But anyway, I went ahead and revisited this, and this is my findings. It looks like it's connected to a track there. But then I noticed all these rings in these cams. And I was like, it can't be a coincidence that in Oklahoma, I believe, is where where Tracy lives, of paper thin veils catching rings around the sun. Then we're catching rings around the sun and using Ada's parabolic dish. You've got OBGY catching rings around the sun where he resides. Okay. Then you've got Asgardia with their rings around the sun on their logo. We've got pictures of what looks like orbs and rings around in these diode sundogs taken of Skydome Atlantis pics. We've got Donnie of Daytona capturing what looks to be a tower connected to the sun, or shall we say a chandelier. Then we've got the UN with their talking of a city encapsulating a sun of rings. Again, Ada's parabolic dish catching the rings around the sun. We've got the ISS feed catching rings around the sun. And you got the Black Sun, the Nazi, and the Jesuits logos. You got Lord of the Rings talking about rings. I mean, and it goes on, but and then we've got the rings what looks to be found in these cams, which you would assume were the guts of the cams. But after I kind of just broke it down, I'm just starting to wonder if those are actually the rings around the sun, because you see all these what looks like structures in there too, right there. And if we kind of in this, see, it looks like it's attached to a structure. I got a bug flying around me, but look at this. See this? It looks like a track. This line going out from the sun sim, this line probably being the anchoring of the sun simulator. But anyway, if you look, you can see the inner rings, the inner tracks coming right in there. Okay, then this is actually a track coming out here holding what looks to be a Nibiru, but it's a simulator. It's one of their simulators, one that's just like that, caught with Ada's parabolic dish technique, a track with a fake sun, or a fake, this is just one of the simulators. It's got multiple simulators up there simulating everything. So, you know, see the chain as if it's a lantern or a chandelier. That's a chain. That's a track system. This is a retractable arm with a lens array on it. And there's this huge platform that rides with it, I believe. And then if you look in here underneath there's like there's another platform, but with like cranks and pulleys, and this is crazy. It's like a jaws of death right there in the middle. It's got like a turbine here to propel it up and down the track system. And you see this? This is what I think they were trying to conceal. There's a platform that rides with it. And if you look in there looks like huge cranks, huge wheels in there, right in the center. And this is what I believe they're trying to either conceal with utility fog, or who knows? Who knows? But, and then you got to understand how they could contain all this smart dust, all this utility fog, all these foglets, when if you were on a spinning ball, it would just, all that smart dust would spin off into outer space. But if we live with an enclosed system, they could contain all that smart dust for their control grid and for their live augmented virtual reality that they're looking to create. Now, this here pic is of the sun sim, and it's showing you the different light sources that are all around it, okay, that are on track systems, and the sun sim is actually on a huge track system, and it's encapsulated by a massive machine. They've got multiple, again, simulators up there simulating different planetary objects, and they run along this graphene transparent like track system, and they're aimed at, I would say, you know, for the, I would say for the fake alien invasion, all part of their augmented reality that they're looking to create up top in the heavens and the skies above. And this is the massive machine that's encapsulating the sun sim here, and this is one of its simulators over here. They've got multiple simulators over there, and again, this is the sun sim. This is like a chain on top of it. It's got retractable arms with huge lens arrays on it and a massive platform underneath it. But what I wanted to show you, again, you can see it here a little bit better. There's a chain. Here's a track system it runs on. This is one of its retractable arms with a lens array. You can see the mechanical arms there that extend out. And these were taken and pulled from Peachnag's time stream, which is, she resides in London, Ontario, in the sides of the north, where Satan's looking to set his kingdom up in the heavens underneath God's throne room. And, you know, I consider this being the dark sun, you know, Lucifer the false light bearer with its false luminescence. But this is, again, the light sources that I'm going to try and show and prove to you that are all around this sun sim, okay, and one of Peachnag's time-lapse videos. Now, right here, you're going to see lights that remain stationary. That one in particular. There's another one here, and there's another one here. And then you're going to see structures all behind and surrounding the sun sim. And meanwhile, there is going to be a artificial sky canopy that is scrolling across the sky, okay, which is your chemical haze, your utility fog, your foglets, your smart dust, your black goo, you know, everything that's raining down upon us to build out their, you know, augmented virtual reality sky screen. And again, you'll see like structures that are being built out as they build out these tracks, and they're able to create these images, real live physical images up there via this utility fog, but at the same time tapping into your and I's neural senses, okay, with the voice to skull technology that they have, and the image that they're projecting the skies above, they can go ahead and project the sound that mirrors that object in your head. Hence all these planes and helicopters on the private sector, commercial sector, military sector that are flying over everybody's houses now, as if, you know, the flight paths have changed on all these different, you know, aircraft, and they're going directly over truther's house, you know, that are against the system. And I believe it's just a form of gang stalking, but they have the technology. And what I'm going to show you here is not only the structures all surrounding the sun sim, okay, they're remaining stationary as the canopy artificial sky scrolls across the scene. And then I'm also going to show you some objects which look like demons, but I believe they're projections created through this utility fog, walking across the glass ceiling. Very, very weird. And just, you know, again, to reiterate that all this smart dust that's raining down upon us, guys, Okay, we're acting like antennas now. We got all these machines in us, our nanobots in us, in our bodies that we're absorbing the GMOs, that we're absorbing not only through the air we breathe and it falling upon our skin, and but also the food that we eat and the water that we drink and the clothes and the different lotions that we utilize. It's in everything, and that's how they're able to tap into our neural senses and how they're continue to target these individuals, these TIs. But yeah, so let's go ahead and just I'll tell you what I'm talking about here. If we go just back and forth, you'll see that those lights remain stationary that I had showed you in the beginning, and that there's a massive tower going all the way up to the ceiling above the sun. See how they're staying stationary all up top there above the sun and surrounding the sun? And there's a track system clearly that goes out to the left of the sun, in the middle of the sun, out to the left. It's all remaining stationary. There's lights in there. They're not clouds, guys. Those are lights. Okay? And if we go ahead and scroll to the end here, and even when I do this, you'll see in the clouds how these clouds are building out like objects and structures. It's kind of weird, but you could see them. If you slow this down, you'll start seeing, like on the right, you'll start seeing, structures take form. I don't know if you see that. And on the left, it's just it's the utility fog that they're utilizing, I would say, capable of building anything, projecting anything they want in the skies, all aimed at the transhumanism agenda, again, the fake alien invasion, selling the ball Earth and the space. But I mean, they're not going to build this huge, massive contraption up there. They thought for 1 second a planetary object was going to come knocking out of the sky. The Asgardia space kingdoms in lower orbit, they even say it themselves. ISS, lower orbit. Everything's within the dome. All the smartness is being contained. It has to be contained. If you lived on a ball Earth, it'd fly off in outer space. But it's not. It's all contained. It's all within the enclosed system. So if we go to the end here, what I want to show you here is you're going to see 3 objects coming from the left of the screen that look like animals. The first one's coming out now. It looks like it's got legs, and it's walking across the glass ceiling, and it looks like it's a huge, massive archon. The one next to it looks like it's some form of armadillo, and then here comes a huge, like, turkey with its legs, webbed feet. I mean, it's just crazy. There's 3 of them right now, starting at the left again, walking across the glass ceiling, the artificial sky canopy. So I believe that is all part of their augmented reality that they're creating up there for their fake alien invasion, all run by AI, which we know is demonic in nature. And yeah, so I wanted to show you that. And again, in terms of the utility fog building out, you can see structures building out right above the sun up there too. It's just, I'm trying to just get it, like, see, structures up there. And again, we'll look at these animals one more time that I believe are projections from the utility fog, I would say. But we're talking like, Star Wars stuff. It's just crazy.
Let's hope this telephone line works.
What the heck was that?
No sé, cagano. El letrero por poco me rompe el culo.
English, dude. English.
Everybody quiet, settle! Whoa, mother... What the hell? Get out!
Let's hope this telephone line works.
What the heck was that?
No sé, cagano. El letrero por poco me rompe el culo.
English, dude. English.
seen a lot, but you ain't seen nothing like this.
Nothing. How?
Same way the magicians do it. Mirrors.
How?
Same way the magicians do it. Mirrors.
Okay, guys, this next clip is also from the host, okay? And it's going to show predictive programming. They're stating that we are under an artificial sky canopy, okay? They're being in that cave with those magician mirrors, okay? Think in terms of Sky Dome Atlantis. They're being a live augmented virtual reality, ionized space, artificial sky canopy above our heads, okay? Where they're able to simulate everything. Okay, in this clip, they're going to be taking a walk from out of the cave, okay, with the magic mirrors. And when they come out, they then see the real sky because they're coming out of the cave, the dome, all right? The artificial sky, hence the mirrors, magician mirrors, are no longer present because they've come out of the cave, so now they can see the real sky. Okay, so in short, Satan's has created and inverted God's, Yahweh's, enclosed structure, having created his own technocracy-based kingdom. His own enclosed structure, though it being artificial, created with smart dust. All right, you guys enjoy.
You want to take a walk?
Didn't Jared tell you to stay away from me?
Yeah.
This is not a good idea.
You can open your eyes now.
I'm outside. That really is the sky. I'm outside. That really is the sky. I'm outside. That really is the sky. How?
Same way the magicians do it. Mirrors.
by drunken sailors, and escape artists behind the bars of a jailer. An asthmatic attack and they withhold the inhaler. If the shoe doesn't fit, what good is a tailor? In the midst of this crisis, please cancel the gala. Without a symphony, there's no need for a prelude to foreshadow what's to come. See, the secret committees commence with their meetings to make red tape in response to simple questions. Questions threaten the perception of a beneficial system, a pyramid scheme with its cogs and its pistons. Mechanization of man, making more and more live in a miserable existence. How can so few claim so many victims? And this begs the question. My arrest is a weapon against the oppression of man's obsession to control things. Look at the long line of make-believe kings, and the Lord of the Flies wants you to kiss his ring.